Hi everyone, my name is Corey and this is my new YouTube channel called Knitting All the Blankets. I created this channel just for my knitting podcast videos. For those of you that have seen my other channel, Tales from a Polk County Girl, over the past couple months I have done weekly knitting videos showing off progress I have made on my 10-stitch blankets, a 10-stitch wrap, various craft show inventory projects, and other miscellaneous blanket projects. Why did I create a new YouTube channel? I decided to just separate my knitting podcast from my videos about my planners and my goals and everything else that my Tales from a Polk County Girl YouTube channel encompasses. Why did I name my channel Knitting All the Blankets? I love knitting blankets. I mean, to me, it's kind of a one-size-fits-all gift, in my opinion. I know there are some people that love knitting shawls or socks or sweaters. I'm not one of those people. I live in Florida, Central Florida, actually, and it gets very, very warm here. We have sweater weather, if you can call it that, probably about 3 days out of the year. So to me, knitting a sweater is kind of pointless. And also, if I ever wanted a hand knit sweater, I have access to my husband's grandmother's tubs of hand knits from England. There are about three, I believe three large storage tubs just full of hand knits that she has made over the years. So if I ever get a hankering for a hand knit sweater for, the 30 seconds that it's cold enough here to justify wearing one, I'll just go get one of hers. Yeah. Okay. So what I plan to do for this channel, it is going to be all knitting, no planners, no nothing, all that type of stuff. If you're curious as to what my previous videos were like on Tales from a Polk County Girl, the knitting videos anyways, I have gone ahead and created a playlist that you have access to, so you can see all of my previous knitting related videos on that channel. So all you have to do is go to the playlist and they will all be right there. So what do I have in store for you today? Well, I'm going to go over my April finished objects. I will not go over finished objects every podcast. I'm very much I like to see what it all stacks up like at the end of the month. And if you can see, there are some stacks right there that I will be showing off in just a second. I will also be showing off what cotton. I also like to use cotton a lot. In addition to knitting blankets, I knit dishcloths and scrubbies for craft show inventory, which I will get more into when I talk about this lovely purple stack. I'm going to show off what my next cotton color, it's over there sitting on the edge of the couch, what I have coned up coming up for the month, and if I have time, I'll show off the Frankie Brown. The pattern is the Frankie Brown 10-stitch blanket, and I am doing it out of mini skeins. So I call it my mini skein 10-stitch. And I'll go more into depth since this is going to be the first official episode for this new channel. I will be going more in depth about it here in this episode or in the next one, and then into my scrap wrap. Which is also of the 10-stitch variety. I just took the 10-stitch pattern and just elongated it. So let's get started. Okay, my first, did I get those out? Yes, I did. Where'd they go? There it is. Okay, the first colorway I'm going to show off is the Bernat Melon Mania. This is actually my coned up yarn, what's left of my coned up yarn from March. When I did my March finished objects video a few weeks ago, and that one is in the playlist below. This was the color I was using, but I usually do the finished objects video before the month is actually done. And that's just based on my shooting schedule and everything like that. So this is one dishcloth and the 3, I call them scrubbies, that I got out of it. No, I have not woven in the ends because, let's face it, who really likes weaving in ends? So once all 3 ends are woven in, I will, well, not all 3 ends, once all the ends are woven in, I will add them to my craft show inventory. My goal for this year, for 2017, is to knit 100 dishcloths by October. And because for me, October is the start of the craft show season. Currently, with this is 1, and then I have 12 right here, and I'll get to this color in just a minute. So that makes an additional 13, which puts me at, I believe, 35 dishcloths for the year so far, which doesn't sound like much, but I'm averaging at least 10 to 12 a month, so I should make my goal, hopefully. So that's Melon Mania. And no, I didn't just drop it on the floor. I do have a very big cube that I got on clearance at Walmart that I actually have 2. I have one in this color and one in a houndstooth style like this, that I picked up on the clearance rack. So all my finished objects usually just get chucked in there until I'm ready to sew in the ends and then add them officially to my inventory count. So my next one is this stack of 12 cotton dishcloths. The colorway is Bernat Fruit Explosion. And that's what it looks like. Try to get close so you can see the colorway. The pattern, my dishcloth pattern that I use is Grandma's Favorite Washcloth. I mean, I've been knitting it for almost 10 years at this point, and it's just so mindless for me to do, and it just works. If you've come over from Tales from a Polk County Girl to subscribe to this channel, first of all, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. But in a previous video, I showed off some clearance cotton I had gotten from Walmart. And it was the Peaches and Cream. Some of it was the Peaches and Cream Fruit Explosion, which is the exact same colorway as this. So while I have finished knitting up all the coned up cotton, and I will re-explain coned up in a second when I show off my new cotton for my new viewers, I still have 7 or 8 balls of Peaches and Cream Fruit Explosion, one of which I did have to break into to finish the last dishcloth. So eventually I will either cone all those up. I haven't decided if I'm going to cone them all up or if I'm just going to keep them as a ball. When they're balls, sometimes I'll cone them all up if I have multiple ones together. And other times it's because they're balls, they're very easy to throw in a project bag. This is a Doctor Who project bag. If I have time, I'll get to that later, or I'll wait till the next episode to reintroduce some of my project bags. So it's just whatever I feel like doing, because when I cone them up, they're not exactly as portable as they are when they're balls. Now, coning up, I do for the very big Bernat skeins. For any of you that have seen those in Joann's or Michael's, I haven't seen them in Hobby Lobby, so I don't know if they are available in Hobby Lobby. But I'll get more into that in just a second. So that's 12 Bernat Fruit Explosion dishcloths, ends obviously not sewn in. Now, my next finished objects are, in a previous video, I talked about knitting my brother a blanket. He just moved into his new house. Well, not just now. He's been there probably at least a month, maybe longer. And like I said, I love making blankets. So I decided, hey, little brother, I'm going to make you a blanket. So tell me, what are your 6 favorite colors? And he did. And I finally started making the squares. Last week at my niece's 2nd birthday party, while they were all running around having fun, I was sitting around knitting squares for the blanket. And it's just my standard scrubby pattern, which is grandma's dishcloth style pattern, done on US size 10, which I want to say is 60. I don't know. I don't know the metric size for a US size 10 needle, and I do them on circulars. I actually did not bring the basket over with me, but I use 9-inch circulars to do it. So I have 9 of those squares finished, and I've got a lot more to go. Once I'm done with one of my scrappy projects, I think I'm going to work on this project pretty monogamously because I want to try to get it done. The next color after I'm done with the nice hunter green, and it's just standard red heart hunter green, I will be using is a black. And I don't look forward to knitting with the black yarn. I do know it can cause some problems if you're in low light, but luckily I know this pattern. I've been accused of knitting in my sleep, so it should not be too much of an issue. Why did I choose Red Heart? I love my little brother dearly, but I wanted this to be something he didn't have to worry about how it was going to wash up. I didn't want him to have to worry about being gentle with it, and Red Heart is very user-friendly in that sense that you can throw it in the washer, throw it in the dryer, and that's what I'm gonna do. And what I also plan on doing once I have all the squares, I haven't decided if I'm just going to alternate. Imagine this is a different color, like black or orange or something. I don't know if I'm going to alternate the colors yet, because there are gonna be 6 colors, or if I'm going to do them in stripes. I haven't decided yet, and I may lay them out differently and have him choose. He does know he's getting this blanket, so it's not going to be too big of a surprise. It's just going to be a matter of when does he get this blanket. Ideally, I think by Christmas, but delusions of grandeur and all that. Okay, so let me show you the next cotton I'm going to be working on and go in and explain what coning up means in my situation. If you can hear the lawnmower, I apologize. Apparently my my neighbors decided to get a lawn service. Yeah. Okay, so when I say coned up, this is what I mean. This is one of those plastic yarn winder cones that you put on the yarn winder and you wind your yarn up. It has, if you can see that black, that is skateboard grip tape. And what has happened over the years, my husband has been very amused at the big burlap skeins and the balls of cotton just flopping all over the floor as I knit with them. So he ingeniously designed this. I'm actually going to attempt to take it out real quick. This could work against me. Come on. He built this himself. I picked out the basket because I wanted something fairly light and portable. Ooh, that's dusty. And he built this to hold these, not only these plastic cones, but the big cones of cotton that Sugar and Cream and Peaches and Cream come on. They also fit on this, and this is just a piece of all thread that we drilled through the top of the we drilled through the top of the cone, and that way it will sit. Now I'm gonna have to fight to get this thing back on here. It will just sit. Actually, I'll take it off just for now. And it will sit on there and hold it. It holds at just the right angle so that if it's on the floor or on the couch beside me, the yarn just pulls off so easily, like so. I'm gonna wind it back up. And I have a little nut that we put on the end to keep this from pulling off, or the other cones from pulling off. So it's it honestly is one of my most used gifts or items that my husband has ever made me, and I love it. So the cotton that's on here is called Bernat Twisted Melon. It is another twist, and I'm very curious to what this is going to knit up like. It's got and if you don't know what a twist is when they have 4 threads that they've plied together. And this one has red and green and orange or yellow, like a goldenrod yellow, and then a blue. So, and twist yarn is also thinner than ombre or solid color yarn, in my opinion. It's almost like more worsted weight, whereas an ombre or solid color cotton is double worsted. It does feel thicker to me, but that could just be me. So that's the next color. All right, I'm at 16 minutes. My phone will only record for 20 minutes, so all these episodes will be 20 minutes or less, or 25 minutes or less, so which is good to know, right? So I'm going to show you the mini skein 10 stitch real quick. Let me just reach in front. Okay. For those that haven't seen my my initial videos, how I decided to start this was in the very center, you'll see some hand spun. All this hand spun was done by my friend Anne, and she is a dyer and a spinner of yarns. Her shop is called Twin Mommy Creations. I will link her Etsy shop down below. She had given me these samples over the years, and I had always kind of wanted to knit them up into a blanket, and I had bought a couple packages of the Lion brand bonbons as well to do this. And then I misplaced them, as you do. And then when I was rearranging my craft room and cleaning it up, I found them again and said, all right, this is the universe telling me that I need to get this started. So I started knitting it in the center, and right here where this purple is and this blue meet, that is the end of Anne's homespun and the beginning of the Lion brand bonbons, the beach package. And I am almost through, I am almost through the first package. I am on the fifth bonbon, and this is what I have left. So, and the style of, the knitting needle size I am using is a US size 3, which I believe is 3.25 millimeters. So, and they're double pointed needles. I do use double pointed needles on this 10 stitch because I just feel they work a lot faster. And I am currently at a corner. And that is significant because I have had recent bouts of carpal tunnel and repetitive stress injury on my wrist. So I have learned to pace myself. So this blanket actually used to knit up very quickly, and now it's just knit a little bit, take a break, knit a little bit, take a break. When I get to a corner, the corner is the only thing I can do that day if I'm going to work on it at all, because the miter corner for this style of blanket is 34 rows, and that is just the short rows. It's the turning on the short rows that irritate my wrist, so I just have to be very careful. So that's where I am on that one. And I think after I'm done with this, I'm trying not to let my needle slip out of it. When I'm done with the beaches colorway, I was thinking about doing the next package of Lion brand bonbons, which were the nature ones, and these are cotton. Let me turn them around so you can see. But I decided to do something different. In a previous video, I've shown off some more yarn from Anne. Anne is also starting to get into doing minis, and I'm very excited about it. This is her, I've balled it up already, but it's her Rainbow Rambouillet yarn, and that's also available in her Etsy shop. and it's stamped on the back, handmade with love, and I can testify to that. I love Anne's stuff. I know the passion she has for it, and I've seen the work that goes into it. No, I am not being reimbursed in any way to say that. She is my friend. I love her stuff, but I do pay for it. She doesn't just give me this stuff. I mean, if she did, it'd be great, but I wouldn't say this stuff just because she gave this to me. But this is what it looks like. It starts out with pink, then goes to orange, then yellow, then this green and blue and purple. And it is a center pull cake that I had fun trying to cake this thing up. So I think that's what I'm going to go to next. I think I'm going to alternate. I have bought all of the packages of bonbons available in Joann's. So I think I'm just going to alternate Indie Dyer, bonbon, Indie Dyer, bonbon. And so after Anne's Rainbow, then I'll go to the next bonbon set. And then after that, I have 2 packages of the Brew City Yarns minis that are absolutely adorable. And I'll just pick one of those, cake them all up, cake it up, knit it through, go to the next one. So I've actually got some more, I'll talk about this now. I participated in the Yarn Enabler Slopless Swap that was hosted on the Yarn Hoarder podcast earlier this year and got another set of minis, which is awesome. I actually contacted Yarn Enabler and asked her if she would be able and willing, if I sent her a picture of the minis, could she tell me what colorways are what? Because while the label does have some of the colorways, these individual ones are not labeled at all. And that's going to drive me crazy because I have something called a legacy book. And yes, I'm just making notes in this one right now. But when I go to do the entry in my legacy book, I like to actually be able to name what yarn is what. So, I believe her name is Lisa of the Yarn Enabler, and she very kindly has agreed to do that for me. I've sent her the picture and all that, so hopefully within a few days I'll know what mini skein is what, and that'll just get worked in at some point. The mini skein blanket is my lowest priority blanket right now because I'm almost done with the scrap wrap. And I need to get into that before my time cuts off. Between craft show inventory, which is my priority because craft show inventory means self-sustaining hobby and I have more money for yarn. Scrappy wrap, which is almost done. So I've kind of got that. I want to finish this thing going on. And then making that blanket for my brother. Yeah, I really want, that's a higher priority than this mini skein because I don't know when it's going to be done. I don't know how big I want it. It's going to be one of those, when it's done, it's done. So, shove that out of the way. Oh, let me show you the bag that it's in real quick. This is just one of those reusable bags that you get at Joann's. It's the one that says Knit Happens. I thought it was funny. So, the other one, the Scrappy Wrap, which is huge. I'm only going to briefly talk about this one because I am running out of time. I'll talk about it more next week. I will make sure to do that. But I got onto this colorway and I am now at a corner. Bigger the project, the tougher the corner, trust me. I feel like I'm wearing a toga with this thing. All right, there's that corner. That side, that corner, and then this side, that keeps going and going and going. If my calculations are correct, by the time I get to here, it will be done. So as you can tell, I really want to get it done. And yeah, the original stripe is right there in the center. And it goes all the way this way. If you watch the knitting videos in the Tales from a Polk County Girl podcast, you can actually watch this thing grow quite significantly and quite quickly. The current yarn I'm using is Burnout Blanket. Yarn's getting caught. And this is the Mallard Wood colorway. My friend Tiffy gave it to me, and I had always planned on it being the final color, and I've gotten to that point. So when it runs out, it's done. And like I said, based on my calculations, by the time it's done, I should be here. Now, if you can hear the progress keepers jingling, I have not filmed a podcast video in about 2 weeks. So let's see where my... No, I still got time. I can go into this now. This is my autumn leaf progress keeper that I made from a pair of earrings. I took one of the earrings and made it into a pendant to match the earrings. I bought 2 pairs of these earrings, one to wear, one to make, and the second pair to make a pendant out of and to make a progress keeper out of. So as we go down here and follow this all the way around here, till I find my other progress keeper. There it is. And this one's just a little American flag, United States. From, crap, now I lost it. From this progress keeper to that one is 214 rows. And I did that in a week. Yeah. So I put the second progress keeper on when I figured out I wasn't going to have time to film a video next week or last week. So from that one all the way here, all the way down to that corner is 114 rows. So that's a lot. I've put a lot of work into this, and based on the way I'm knitting, I hope to have it done by June at the latest, just because I'm going to be gone for a conference for a few days, so I won't be bringing this with me, because the bag that it's in is not a small bag. It is actually a Husky rolling tool bag. Sorry about the noise. So yeah, that is what my big projects go into. It's what my other 10-stitch blanket lived in while I was knitting it. And this monstrosity is getting ready to outgrow it. So needless to say, I want this to be done. Okay, so that's that one. Shove it all back in here. All right, I actually managed to get through everything. I'm impressed with myself. So, okay, thank you for joining me. If you liked this podcast, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more knitting videos from me, please hit the subscribe button up top. And I will see you guys next week with more progress. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Bye.